Hello everyone and welcome. So today we are talking about the recent update to the banned and restricted list. So as expected, Turbo Initiative got the ban hammer. And as you can see, they banned 4 cards. And all of those 4 cards are initiative creatures. So the blue initiative creature, the 4 mana red black initiative creature, the 4 mana red initiative creature, and finally the other one black initiative creature. So all these creatures basically got banned from only due to a single deck, which is Turbo Initiative. So why did they ban those cards? Was Turbo Initiative so oppressive? There weren't any way to deal with it? Well, the best way to deal with Turbo Initiative was just being more aggressive than him, so playing something like Red Blitz or Kuldata Burn, which are the two most powerful mono-red or red-based deck in the current metagame. Well, Initiative, in my point of view, is fine for the power format and could be also good for the format, since, an example, Affinity, which is, or used to be the best deck in the format, is weak to an early game Initiative. And if you consider other third decks, example, Mono Black Devotion or the Pestilence, or even Dream First, if they land an initiative creature not too early in the game, basically every other competitive deck is able to deal plenty enough with the initiative deck. But against the Turbo Initiative, initiative is kind of weird and less manageable for every traditional style deck. So Turbo Initiative, as you can see, play a lot of mana fast, both in form of depletion land and in form of rituals. So this deck is only focused on playing the maximum amount of initiative creatures, and also is focused on land and initiative creature before turn 3. And initiative, as I already said, if played not too early in the game is fine, but if played before turn 3 is troublesome for most deck. Another important thing is that, as I said, this deck is focused on playing the maximum amount of initiative creatures. Because if you land an initiative creature, but then you don't really have a reasonable follow-up, an example in form of a lot of removal spells, a lot of pressure, or another initiative creature, initiative is still fine. But when you're able to land turn 1 or turn 2 initiative on the battlefield is really troublesome. Especially when it comes to Turbo Initiative, a lot of times they were able to play an initiative creature following up the first initiative creature, so something like turn 2 initiative, turn 3 initiative, turn 3 another initiative creature. At that time, initiative was really unbeatable for basically the larger part of the metagame. So, I'm fine with the ban of all these initiative creatures, yeah. But I also think that another ban would be better in regard to initiatives. So, from my point of view, would be better to ban Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual alongside the blue initiative creature and the 4 mana black initiative card. So, leaving the other black initiative creature and the red one, because as you can see in this list, they play Paulo Di Francesco, so Wolfsker plays the green one over the red one, even though the deck is just Rakdos splashing blue and splashing green, because the red creature is just bad for decks that try to be a sort of mashup between combo and beatdown. Steering Bard was good in Cascade Walls, but Cascade Walls was also playing the Green Initiative creature, and this one is mostly good due to the presence of cards like Expand Guardian or any Artisan, because giving those creatures is kind of great, and also the card was the right color, so you were able eventually to play it without splashing any other color. Well, the reason to ban Dark Ritual and Lotus Petal is mostly due to how much good those way to generate mana, to generate fast mana truly are. So, removing the turn 2 initiative was the main reason to ban all those creatures, but Dark Ritual and Lotus Petal could be considered similarly, because Dark Ritual is the only ritual beside Cabaret Ritual and Sitting Song that add 2 mana instead of 1, and Dark Ritual it costs only 1 mana. Lotus Petal is similar to Simian Spirit Guide, but it also fixes the mana, and the card goes on the graveyard instead of getting exiled. And you know, I'm also expecting for the future sets, from the new special future sets to add something similar to Initiative, so value cards that are also powered by cards like Dark Ritual. So not cutting cards like Dark Ritual doesn't seem really fine to me. Also, I truly like the idea of weakening decks like Cycle Storm, because I think that Cycle Storm should be banned from the format, not because the deck is too much oppressive, but mostly due to 3 different reasons. The first one is that you don't really want to have too many copies of Cycle Storm in competitive tournaments, since the deck is really slow, and it's kind of similar to the to the modern X deck, which got the white instant spell banned because the Wizard of the Coast people didn't really want to have X as competitive decks, because it required a lot of time to win without even be sure to for the X player to be lethal. So it can generate too many draws in games, and also the deck is a non-creature based combo deck, even though it plays a lot of cycling creatures. So even if you don't ban Songs of the Damned, it's kind of fine to ban Ritual and Lotus Petal to weaken that deck and make it also slower and less resilient. Well, anyway, leaving Cycle Storm untouched, of course, is fine, because the deck is nowhere to be oppressive, but I truly despise that kind of deck in Pauper, since we don't have ways to interact with it without playing specific aid and counter spells. So I also think that would be really great to have more interaction in Pauper and untapped dual lands in Pauper, just to be able to deal better with those kind of pushed combo-ish or combo-ish style decks. But right now, I'm not expecting at all to see something like Shivan Rip in Pauper, so for that reason, we can say that the current update to the banned list is fine as it is. Also, it's important to note that this ban went only went online only after 3 weeks since the release of the initiative creatures on the Magic Online platform, so probably the fastest ban on the Magic Online history, and this is only thanks to the Power Format panel, because since the Power Format panel exists, Wizard of the Coast is able to take action on the Power Format way faster compared to the other formats. And well, I'm leaving a link in the YouTube video description, the YouTube video league of Kalikaiz playing probably the same list that Walker played in the Pauper Spodek event that we went to Poland to play in the last weekend. Maybe I also make a tweet on Twitter just to talk about this awesome event, or a YouTube video. Not sure if you guys may like it. And I really want to let you people watch how this deck worked. So feel free to click to it and eventually follow Kalikai's YouTube channel, which is awesome. The player is truly dedicated, and it's always a pleasure to watch him play. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I think we talked plenty enough about this recent ban. I also eventually think that the metagame will settle pretty fast, since initiative wasn't really a huge part of the metagame, and we also have broken decks in the format such as Cool Databorn and Red Blitz that are still really great, and probably they will shape the format around them. I'm expecting to see a metagame which will be red-based beatdown decks against decks based on winning against Borns. So white-based decks, blue tempo style decks, and also something like Cowgate deck with Prismatic Strands, Secret Cat, etc. etc. So, till now, I'll see you tonight, 29 p.m. Central European Time on Twitch, and eventually on YouTube for some new videos.